This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be taking a look at a game based on a TV show that's actually very cool. It's one of those cult shows that's actually very, very cool, and I think is really, really great. Some of the people that are in it are just very meaningful to me, especially if you are a fan of Secondhand Lions and Buffy and stuff like that. I know that I really like the guy Jacob Stone from the Librarians. Okay, this is a card game that is going to be coming to Kickstarter from our good friends Everything Epic. Now, I actually got a prototype version of it, and for a prototype, it looks pretty doggone cool. Now, these aren't going to be the final components, but let's go down to the table, take a look at this, and I'm going to just show you. I'm not going to tell you all the rules and everything like that. We'll save that when they go live with the Kickstarter, which should be a few weeks, that I will actually do a live playthrough. Maybe I can get Chris to come in and do the playthrough with me. So why don't we head down to the table and take a look at this very, very cool game. Okay, so here are all the beautiful cards, and of course the art's fantastic. Here's Jacob Stone. That's my boy. That's my boy. And if you ever saw Secondhand Lions and Buffy, this guy is like the coolest guy on the planet. What you're going to be doing is you're going to have a series of different missions that you're going to have to resolve. Now, as you can see, it's 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. That is how many of the tokens that you're going to have to get on here to flip this card and go, and you're going to read a whole passage, and then it'll get you to the next card. Each one will get harder until you get to the end where you will have defeated the mission. Now, on the other hand here, you have this card right here, which is going to cause you nothing but bedlam, okay? This card here, a disturbance card, if anytime you get 8 of these tokens on here, well, guess what? You're going to lose the game. If he loses his health, you are going to lose the game. You have these adventure cards, and you're going to be drawing 1 each turn and have to negotiate it. It's going to help you get the things that you need. Now, also, you're going to start off with 4 energy. So you're going to take the first top 4 cards off of your deck, and guess what? That is going to be your energy pile. You're going to use that to pay for cards. Next, you're going to draw up the 5 cards. And as you can see, up in the left-hand corner, there is an energy bolt and a cost. These cards are going to help you along the way. Once you decide on what cards that you're going to play, for instance, that we can attach, this is an attachment that can go to Jacob. We could pay 1 energy, which we would discard face up, right there, and then we would be able to use this and attach it, and it would give us certain abilities that'll help us along the way. Over here is our unassigned area, okay? And what's going to happen is at the next phase, which is our adventure phase, we are going to draw a card. Okay, for instance, we just drawn a cult fanatic, and his big thing is if he enters play, he automatically gets assigned to the player. So these two are going to do battle, but we'll worry about it next. It also says when it enters plays, draw another card. We draw another card. This comes in unassigned, so it stays up here. This is an obstacle, and that's what the little brick building's for, is an obstacle. So now comes our turn, our action phase, our action phase, where we are going to, well, we're going to turn this card and decide to attack this guy, because he can do damage back to us, and we don't want that to happen. We want to keep Jacob alive. Excuse me, it's supposed to be that card that we tap. Okay, so now I'm going to look for this symbol on his card. That means I'm going to roll 2 of these dice, okay? And if there was a number here, we would roll these dice, which would cancel out, have a chance to cancel out anything I might roll. I roll the dice, and I get 2 library symbols. Those are hits. On the other side, there are lotus trees that can help you and give you certain abilities, such as clues and things like that, that can help you. But this time we got enough to defeat him, and he would go to the discard pile. There's blanks here, and so forth and so on. Now, also in that same instance, okay, if say we didn't have anybody to attack there, we can actually try to solve this card. We would take this icon, compare it to this icon, and we would roll 2 dice. But as you can see, they get to roll 2 of their dice, so they have a chance to cancel this out. What we're trying to do is get 3 areas. Now, this is actually very good. Well, actually, no, it's actually very bad, because that is going to cancel that out. That is going to cancel that out. The 2 trees, well, they're going to give us 2 clues, and we would just use those clues for possibly something else. So we were not able to whittle this card down. Let's say, for instance, it was something like this, which is a little bit better if you ask me, okay? Those are 4 library signs. Those are considered hits. These 2 books here are considered they're failures. So we were able to get 2 hits. So 4, of course, subtract 2 is 2, which means that we would put 2 of these tokens on here. And guess what? We're almost there. We need 1 more. So our turn would be finished. If we had an enemy here, they would attack back. So they would take 2 and do 2 damage to our good friend here, which, well, wouldn't be good on their attack phase, because it's always the enemy phase. Also, during the enemy phase, we would also, because this guy would be tied up, we have 2 unassigned threats up here. Now, what happens with that is, at the end of the turn, when we go to refresh, they would be counted. 1, 2, plus 1 for the end of turn is 3. And we would put 3 of these markers on here. Remember, we only need 8 to cause us to fail. And that is not cool, as you can see. We're almost done with this one, which would get us, of course, to the next mission. But we already have 3 of these threat on here, which would cause, if we ever got 8, we would turn it over and lose the game. We also lose the game if we ever run out of cards. So that's a bad thing too. So you got to be careful on how you balance your energy and how you draw cards. You can always draw up to 3 cards, up to 7. And you can either use them, you can keep them face down to use them as energy, or you can take them and use them to hopefully help enhance, or maybe some cards will remove things from here. Some cards would add more damage over here to help you speed along. Some will freeze enemies and stop you from getting all banged up from them. It is an adventure game that has a very unique feel to it, and it feels like you're playing The Librarian. And The Librarian is such a good show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. This is in its early stages. I've only explained a little bit of it to you, but I've played it a few times and it plays very smooth so far. A couple things that I noticed in the rule book, but the guys are fixing that right now. And by the time this goes to Kickstarter, I can promise you, this is going to be something special. The art is phenomenal. Okay, it's from the show. You can play all the different characters. I have Jacob Stone here. You can play, there's just a whole bunch of people that you can play that are absolutely, as a matter of fact, everybody that's on this cover you can actually play pretty much. It's really cool. And then you also have in there, you have assistants that can absorb damage and help you attack. There's just so many neat things with this, and what it does is just absolutely phenomenal. There's also, like I said, Eve is in there, and as you can see, she's pretty jacked up. Oh man, yeah, look at that. She gets 3 dice. So there's a lot of replayability. There's a ton of different missions that you can play, and this all works into a cooperative as well as competitive and great solo card game. I always like these kind of card games. So let's go up top and get my final thoughts. Now, this is a 1 to 4 player adventure card game, and it is Very, very solid, very good. It has a lot of replayability, and this is only the prototype, okay? So when this comes to Kickstarter, I really suggest you back this. If you're a fan of the show, even if you're not a fan of the show, it's just a good adventure card game, and I always enjoy games like this. It reminds me a lot of kind of like an Aventura, an Arkham Horror a little bit. It has a little essence of that, not too much, but it has this really enriched story, and it plays very well. And if you are a fan, like I said, you get behind and you pick your favorite character and you go with it. Or if you just you just want something a little bit different and you just want to have a good time and just play a game and be able to sit down in a session, have a lot of fun, chuck a little dice, be very strategic with your cards, this is a great game for that as well. I highly recommend this. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. And I'm sure they're going to tweak it a little bit and add even more to it. That's why they're epic. There you go. Until next time, look for the Kickstarter. I'll try to give you guys a heads up when it's coming. It should be about a week or two, so keep your eyes peeled for it. The Librarians, the adventure card game. I don't think you can go wrong with this one. Back it, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I promise you that. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob.
We'll see you soon. And you could get this from Miniature Market, right, Grandpa?
You can get this from Miniature Market. That's right.
Yeah, everything you need. Bye.